How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be out you.
Won't anybody help us? What are we running for? When there's nowhere we can run to anymore. We can't afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible.
Who the fuck is Karlyn? She's just some sweet lady. She's like in a knitting. She does like a knitting stream. She's like a knitting YouTuber. She does knitting.
Can we grow up a little bit and
Alt
not
Girl
be
sent $200.
retarded?
Have you
Please.
seen the work of Karlyn Borysenko? Anti-commie cult leader and is obsessed with looking at what actual far-left communists are talking about and organizing today, infiltrating them. They infiltrated the universities, schools, media. She has the receipts to back it up. Primary source evidence. Infestation is dire and she calls Republicans idiots eating slop. Agree.
Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, oh, I know Karlyn B. She's solid. She's funny. I
The
like
great
her.
noticer sent $200.
Literally.
So
not
it's,
Ian.
it's not because I haven't dangled my junk into the combat zone on purpose to get some camera footage, but that's the big part of what's the
Is
problem.
that what you call reporters?
Go
and live
under, if
streaming?
you're going to do it,
Yeah,
go
seriously.
undercover. Otherwise you're wearing a hunk of meat in a lion's den. Nick Shirley, I love you. Take care of yourself, man. Karlyn Borysenko went undercover. Do stuff like that. Like if you want to expose this thing, don't pariah,
But
please.
Ian, here's and I agree with you to an extent.
hear myself? Why can't I hear myself? Why can't I hear myself? I would never start a live stream without unmuting my microphone. As you guys know, I am a professional streamer on the internet, and I would never start a live stream. I am a professional live streamer on the internet. I know how technology works, you assholes. Don't. You know, we really are living in idiocracy. We really are living in idiocracy. You guys would not even believe the sheer volume of absolute retardation that I run into on the internet, like every single day. You guys would just not believe how much stupid shit is going on in the world. And I have to be honest, the more I interact with stupid low IQ people, the more I'm like, what am I even trying to save, really? What is the point of all of this? What is the point? Can we have an esoteric conversation, please? What is the fucking point? What are we actually saving? And maybe the answer is nothing, because maybe the answer is that we are truly irrevocably fucked, like literally either way. And maybe we're just enjoying ourselves in the long, slow descent into the obvious and clear decline of our civilization. Maybe that's all we're doing. And maybe sometimes that's good enough. Maybe entertaining yourself and researching things that are interesting to you and spending your time having conversations that you enjoy about subjects you find fascinating. Maybe sometimes that is really all that is required to be at peace in this dystopian nightmare of a world. Because I just don't even know what to say anymore, guys. I don't even know what to say. We are literally living in idiocracy. Trump is hosting a professional fight on the White House lawn. Didn't this literally happen in idiocracy? Didn't they have some sort of wrestling ring built on the White House lawn in idiocracy? Am I making that up? There was something going on in the White House lawn in idiocracy, and I feel like a wrestling ring would have actually been really predictable for what that movie was. We are literally, Trump is literally having idiocracy at the White House. And they think that this is the very best thing that they can do. I think there are a couple, I don't know. Listen, I understand it's the 250th anniversary of America, and that's actually pretty fucking cool. And they should really be doing some like giant celebration of, you know, the 250 years of America. Like that should actually be a thing. I don't know why we're not hearing more about that. I don't know, man. When we're having like, I just think there should be other priorities than having a UFC fight at the White House. Yeah, he wants to be President Camacho. Like, is that actually what we're talking about? Is Beef Supreme going to show up at this thing? Like, are there going to be is there going to be like a fucking monster truck parade? I just... And I will admit, it is especially infuriating when it just becomes so blatantly obvious how badly the left has kicked Trump's ass. It's just like, guys, the left won so epically in the immigration battle. I don't know if I knew the left had their shit together, and I knew that I've been covering the anti-ICE protests longer than anyone. I've been covering them since January of 2025. Like literally, you can go back and find me talking about the anti-ICE protests, writing about it, doing videos about it. I was one of the very first people, I think, in the country to be talking about the anti-ICE protests and saying, this is going to turn into a big fuck off problem. I was screaming this a year and a half ago. And of course, no one listened to me because I am the Cassandra of the fucking internet and they never fucking listen. And then all of a sudden, they've got a big problem on their hands that I tried to warn you assholes about a year and a half ago. It's not as though these people don't know who I am. I don't think Trump knows who I am exactly, but there are a lot of people who work in the Trump administration who absolutely know who I am. Many of them are subscribed to my fucking Substack. Don't think I don't know your fucking email addresses. They are following me on Twitter. Like, they know who I am, okay? And I really feel like the amount of information that I put out there, that I go through painstaking, mind-numbing research to be able to find, to say, hey guys, hey, listen, Antifa just published a whole manual about how they're going to prevent you from doing mass deportations. Do you guys know this actually happened? This happened right after Trump got reelected. Antifa literally published a manual saying, this is how we are going to prevent mass deportations. It was explicit. Do you want to know how I know? I covered it in January 2025 on my Substack, which you can still find over there to this day. That is Karlyn, Karlyn.substack.com. And I really feel like for the amount that I try to warn people, maybe people would have actually started to listen, but no one fucking listens. I'm the Cassandra of the internet. Got to replace Trump soon before the left wins. Yeah, I hope so, bro. I hope so. Fingers crossed. So do you guys remember several months ago when we were doing heavy anti-ICE protest coverage? And I really hope we start doing that again soon because I think the protests are going to start spiking up. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Remember back when we were doing anti-ICE protest coverage and Greg Bavino was just the fucking man running around in the Hugo Boss coat and all that stuff? And we all were like loving doing all this anti-ICE protest coverage and perhaps watching a bit too much of it, if we're being honest, but it was fun. And then it became clear that Greg Bavino was going to get removed and he got fired by Trump. And then everyone was like, don't worry, Karlyn. I was like, what the fuck are you doing firing fucking Greg Bavino? Greg Bavino is like the best fucking thing that happened to the Trump administration. Greg Bavino was the secret fucking weapon. He was the one the left hated more than anyone. And if the left hates someone, that is a sign that that person is actually getting to them. Every time. This is why we always need to pay attention to who specifically the left is screaming about, because they're not screaming about conservatives in general. They're not screaming about the Republican Party. When the left has an issue with someone that is causing them problems, they will list a specific name and state a specific grievance. They have named me on multiple occasions. They've done entire presentations about me and how I'm fucking up their shit. It, like, for people who think the left doesn't know who I am, not only does the left know who I am, they've had entire whining cry sessions about me on their YouTube channels. I've been put on fucking Antifa hit list walls, okay? In 2 different cities. They're not in Boston, which is how I got away with it on May Day. Anyway. Where the fuck was I? What was I saying? Oh, when the left has a specific grievance with someone, they will name the person. And when the left is really hammering on a specific person over and over and over and over and over again, that's how you know that person is being highly effective in whatever thing they are doing to piss off the left. And for my money, that's got to be good enough. So if the left is ever really pissed at someone, I'm like, okay, well, that person's probably doing something right. The left was so fucking pissed about Greg Bavino. Greg Bavino was like enemy number 1. He was like number 1 on their hit list. You guys remember how pissed off Mercado Media got when he accidentally ran into Greg Bavino that day? Like, they hated Greg Bavino. So, of course, when it was time to scapegoat someone, who did Trump scapegoat? Greg Bavino. And Greg Bavino was forced to retire. And I'm gonna say this extremely clearly. I know this for 100% certain fact. I never say something like that unless there is no doubt. There is no doubt. I am telling you the fucking truth. Greg Bavino was forced to retire by the Trump administration, who were going to make his life much more difficult and take away his fucking pension if he didn't retire. That was the deal. Greg Bavino was the scapegoat. Greg Bavino was the scalp that Trump handed to the left for some idiotic, fucking stupid reason, believing that if he just handed them the scalp of Greg Bavino, that everything was going to go back to normal and they shouldn't be mad anymore and they shouldn't be doing this protesting stuff and causing problems for them and preventing them from doing mass deportations. And what did I tell you guys at the time? This is going to make one bit of fucking difference. All you've done is get rid of like the coolest person that works in your administration and you forced him out because he actually wanted to do mass deportations, you stupid motherfuckers. And it was like so obvious that whoever was advising Trump, whoever thought that was a good idea, they have no clue what they are talking about when it comes to the left. And then, does everyone remember how when I was bitching and complaining about the fact that Trump obviously and clearly fired Greg Bavino like a massive retard? Does everyone remember when we had all these conservatives going, don't worry, Karlyn, Tom Homan is going to come in and Tom Homan is going to fix everything. And Tom Homan's a big bad guy and he's so tough and the left isn't going to know what to do with Tom Homan. One in the chat if you remember all the Tom Homan hype bullshit. 2 in the chat if you don't remember that happening. One in the chat if you remember how conservatives kept telling me, don't worry, Karlyn, Tom Homan's going to come save the day and then everything's going to be fine. And the left really hates Tom Homan, Karlyn. And I'm sorry, the left never hated Tom Homan, but whatever. One in the chat if you remember that happening. 2 in the chat if I'm making that up. Yeah, a lot of people remember that happening. Well, as it turns out, Tom Homan is not, in fact, saving the day. From Disclosed TV, this is being reported by Politico. Trump administration abandons accelerated training program to quickly deploy thousands of new ICE agents hired in recent months. Kind of seems like mass deportations aren't happening to me. But it gets better. Gets better. 3 hours ago from Zero Hedge, according to Tom Homan, Trump talking to cabinet about legal status for migrants. Tom Homan's big bad man. He's not going to take care of it. The left doesn't know what's going to hit him. This is why when a conservative comes in here and like puffs out their chest and they're like, you don't know who you're messing with. It's like, dismiss that person entirely. Can you just dismiss that person entirely? Because like, obviously and clearly, they have no lay of the political land at all. So not only are we not getting mass deportations, apparently all the illegals can stay. Hey, you know? Fine. You know, I can't go to a mall in New Hampshire without being surrounded by brown people speaking Spanish and like Somali and like people from like Somalia and like Nigeria and places like that. And they're all trying to sell me something that I don't fucking want at one of those kiosks in the mall. And I live in New Hampshire. I literally just wanted to walk up and down the mall just to get some steps in, maybe check out what's on sale or like whatever. And I have to like navigate. Anytime you go, and listen, I'm not like it's cold in New Hampshire. A mall is just a suitable place to go when it's colder out. It's getting warmer out. I'm going to start walking outside and stuff. But like when you're navigating a mall, you have to, it's like a fucking maze. You have to navigate around all of the fucking kiosks in the middle of the mall who are just trying to scam you and sell you bullshit. And they're always like trying to get you to come over and talk to them and handing out free samples and all that shit. And sometimes they chase you down as you're walking by and you're like, no, thank you. And they still keep coming at you. You have to, and they're always either brown or they are African. They're Mexican or African. It's one of the two. I live in New Hampshire. I don't think I'm asking too much. I don't think I'm asking too much to want to be able to go and walk up and down a mall to get some steps in without having to navigate a fucking maze of immigrants that are all trying to fucking scam me. Like, no offense, I'm married to an immigrant. I'm not well, I'm kind of anti-immigration now. I'm anti-immigration from here forward, okay? My husband can stay. I do as I say, not as I do. I'm not going to apologize. I don't hate immigrants. I want immigrants to have a long and happy life. I just don't want to have to hear languages that are not English, like, pretty much anywhere at any time in America, because this is America and we speak fucking English. And if I am surrounded by people who none of whom are fucking speaking English at a mall in New Hampshire, one of the whitest states in the country, I see that as a problem and not something that I want to live in. And I don't wish those people any ill will. I want them to be live long and happy lives. Have no violence or anything come to them. Wish them the very best. Hope they're happy. All that good stuff. I'm not saying I hate those people. I just think I should be allowed to live in a society where I actually speak the language of the people I'm surrounded by, given that I was born here and I didn't consent to any of this bullshit. Anyway. I just thought you guys might like to know that we are definitely never getting mass deportations, and that sucks, and Trump sucks, and everything fucking sucks, and whatever. There's nothing we can do. That we can't control the right, we can't control the left. The only thing we can do is sit here and prepare for our inevitable demise at the hands of the retards that we are completely fucking surrounded by. So, to pass the time, we got to do some stuff because, we got to entertain ourselves somehow. And how I'm choosing to entertain myself today, and all of you, if you feel like sticking around, is we're going to be watching a May Day organizing call that took place last night. We probably should have done this as a spy stream, but I didn't because I knew it would be recorded and we could just watch it today, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. We did fat liberation yesterday. That was enough. There's only so much you can do after you spend several hours doing fat liberation. Trust me, that's like... I had nothing left to give to do a spy stream. But that's okay. We have the recording. This call took place last night. It is a live recorded, live as of last night. It was a organizing call of the May Day Strong Coalition. The May Day Strong Coalition is one of the May Day general strike organizers, but the May Day Strong Coalition is so much more than just about May Day. And also the May Day protests had many more organizers involved that were not part of the May Day Strong Coalition. So I don't want you guys to think that the May Day Strong Coalition is just what they named themselves last year, and then they expanded beyond their initial reach. I don't want you to think that these people are only about May Day, as you're going to find out today. They're talking about what are we? No conservative retard talking point. No retard talking points. No, we're moving on. What was I even saying? I was distracted by the retardation in my chat. What the fuck? So the May Day Strong Coalition is not just about May Day, and also there were many more groups involved in the overall organizing of May Day than just the May Day Strong Coalition. I want people to be aware of that and to be very clear. But this is a useful thing to watch. Now, these people are they lean more progressive, but sometimes they do have more far leftists on their call. Like tonight, I think Stacey Davis Gates of the Chicago Teachers Union is going to be on this call. I'm pretty sure I saw her on it. And so they do get democratic socialists, and they do sometimes even have revolutionary socialists. I believe Stacey Davis Gates is a revolutionary socialist. They do sometimes have the far left involved in these calls. But the May Day Strong Coalition is really more of like a progressive group. They're kind of like the same people that does No Kings, except I would put them, if I had to rank the May Day Strong Coalition, I would say they're somewhere between Indivisible and the DSA. it's like the Mayday Strong Coalition really does have some very far leftists working with it, but it also does have a lot of progressive groups working with it. And sometimes it's like right on the cusp, and it could really kind of like go either way. So that's the group that we're watching tonight. They are a very important group because these are the groups that are specifically run by the teachers unions. So you oftentimes see teachers on these calls. You oftentimes see the NEA or the AFT. The NEA is the largest teachers union, National Educators Association. The AFT is the American Federation of Teachers. That's the one run by Randy Weingarten. The other one is run by Becky Pringle. They're both well, Randy Weingarten is really a progressive. Becky Pringle is much more socialist. But that's who's involved in these. You see a lot of local teachers unions, so oftentimes they're good to get clips from teachers so we know what's going on. And they're basically going to be talking about what they're doing next. And so we already knew because we track this group on a regular basis. This group is basically just like Mayday is just another event for them. They fully intend to be organizing all summer. There's probably going to be some big thing on Labor Day too. Who would have thunk it? And so they're going to be doing organization and protesting and events and all this stuff literally all summer long. And hopefully in this call, they get into some of the more details of what we can expect to see next, which I think will be very interesting. So that's what we're going to watch today, guys. And I was kind of thinking about maybe doing a drama stream later. I was thinking about it. I kind of want to catch up on some of Candace Owens' feud with the Daily Wire a little bit. Maybe there's some other drama we can watch as well. So I might do that. I'm not 100% sure yet because I kind of have a project I'm working on involving getting my husband an actual closet where he can hang up his clothes because I've taken over all the closets in our house and I'm working very diligently on getting my husband a closet. I was supposed to have it done for Valentine's Day. That didn't work out. I have re-engaged with the project to get my husband his very own closet in our house that he can hang up his stuff in. And I said, Victor, I'll have it ready by your birthday. His birthday's in August. so W old sub, 5 channel memberships. I really do appreciate that, bro. I really do appreciate that. So we might do a drama stream later tonight. We may also just take the rest of the night off. I haven't decided yet. We might just do the drama on Friday. We will have to see. Let me make sure I've got my Rumble chat on the screen. Sorry, Rumble, I've been ignoring you. But now I have my Rumble chat on my screen. All right. Is anyone new here? Do we have any newbies in the house today? One in the chat if you're new. One in the chat if you just arrived, because I've had a lot of people lately saying, Karlyn, my friends are now secretly watching you. So if you're relatively new in like the last couple weeks or so, bot, shut the fuck up. Like, okay, can everyone be serious and not answer if you're not new? Because I'm just gonna time you guys out if you're answering and you're not new, okay? Cobra's new. I actually want to see who's new in the chat, and you guys are fucking it up. Nathaniel's relatively new. Donation for Victor's closet. Men need closets too. I know. I'm working very diligently on it. It's just that he has to move my giant ass box of shoes down to the basement, the ones I don't wear anymore. That's his responsibility. I can't do that. It's too heavy. So we do have a couple new people here. Guys, if you are new to my work, the very best place to get started is by heading over to my Substack. That is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. When you get there, click on new to my work, and then I want you to scroll down, and I want you to watch this right here, Re-Education and Anti-Communist Introduction to the Far Left. That is the crash course that you need to watch to really do a very fast deep dive into the language the far left speaks. No, it is not the same as English. They speak their own language. It is their own dialect. They use the same words we use. They do not use the same vocabulary, though. So they might sound like they're speaking the same words as you. They are not. They do not use the same definitions as you. So when you're watching leftist content with me, you very literally are learning a foreign language. If it sounds weird, if it sounds like they're making it up, if you don't understand what they're saying, that is because you do not speak their language. Over the course of years of studying these people, I have become fluent in their language. Many people in the chat have become fluent in their language. I don't even need to translate in my head anymore. It's all like I know how to speak their language fluently. So what they say does not confuse me. what they say does not confuse people who've been watching and engaging with my content for a long time. We can read them instantly. We know what they're saying. We know what they're implying. We know what the words mean, and it's not always what you think it means. And oftentimes it's way fucking worse than you have any idea. If you can't do that yet, that's because you're learning a new language. Learning a new language takes time. But if you watch this video, you're going to learn a lot faster. That's about 90 minutes long. It's free. If you want to watch the 4-hour masterclass, you can watch that too. It just builds out on all the points in the first one. And by the way, in both of these trainings, I use basically recordings from far left trainings that I've recorded over the years. You don't have to take my word for any of it. Just watch the videos. Just watch what the left is saying at their private events. And they will tell you what they mean when they're talking to each other, when they don't know people like us are listening. I have thousands of hours of this shit recorded. And so I've got the very best clips to demonstrate here is what they mean by this language. So just take the time to watch it. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my tone. You don't have to like my hair. You don't have to like my weight. You don't have to like anything about me. But the videos don't lie. They are what they are. So if you watch those videos, it will really help you to understand the language a lot quicker. And if you really do want to learn this stuff, just keep showing up to the streams and basically just listening. We are doing an immersive experience with a lot of this language stuff, in that we are immersing ourselves into the culture of the left and just like sitting there and letting us learn by osmosis and by paying attention. That's the very best way to learn a foreign language. If you want to learn how to speak French, go live in France for 6 months. Go surround yourself by people who speak native French, or go to whatever country you want to learn the language of or whatever. You will learn that language, and you will learn it in the quickest way possible, because you're immersed in it constantly, even if you don't know anything about it when you first show up. It's the same thing with the far left and socialism. The more you listen to it, the more you hear me break it down, the more questions you ask in the chat, like, what do they mean by this? What do they mean by that? What do they mean by this other thing? The quicker you're going to learn it. And then all of a sudden you become fluent in it, and you know when that happens. Trust me. The moment you become fluent in it is the moment you see the entire world differently. And tell me if I'm lying for the chat. Only if you are fluent in the language of the left, only if you believe you have achieved a level of mastery where you are fluent in the language of the left. 1 in the chat if you are fluent in their language and it totally changed the way you saw everything that was happening around you. 2 in the chat if you believe you are fluent in their language and that hasn't happened yet. One, if you became fluent in the language and it changed the way you see everything. 2, if you believe you're fluent and it hasn't happened yet. When you become fluent in the language of the left, you will see it everywhere. You will see it literally everywhere. You're not fluent in the language of the left, bro. You have not been here. Like I know what is the left's definition of capitalism? You are not fluent in the language of the left. I'm very sorry. You can be though if you want to be. That's how you know you're fluent in their language. If you don't see it showing up in the world all around you, you are not fluent in their language yet, and you need to keep just learning and understand it's going to take a while. Yeah, it's quite shocking once you understand it. It's very, very, very shocking. Hey, let me grab some super chats here. Let me grab some super chats. I really apologize, guys. I didn't even see some of these come in. Got to replay. I saw that one. James, I'm sorry. I didn't see your super chat, bro. Do you think a deal was made? No, I think Trump is a massive pussy who doesn't want to do mass deportations is what it is. And then we got Grillis here. Mutual aid for the best far left expert in the world. Thank you, Dr. K. Thank you, Grillis. I really appreciate that. Guys, if you appreciate the work I do and you want to see me continue to do it, Please feel free to show your appreciation by donating some channel memberships to the community. You can also send in super chats, become a paying supporter over on my Substack, whichever works best for you. When you donate channel memberships, we give you W's in the chat, like our dear friend Cynthia. W's to Cynthia in the chat. Donating 5 channel memberships for everyone. Really do appreciate that. I do try to hit a goal of 100 new channel memberships when I'm doing a class or teaching something. Not when we're doing drama stuff. You can donate if you want to that, but I won't ask for it. And if you guys can help me meet that goal, that would really help me out. I am 100% funded by you. I work with no political organizations. I have no political masters. All I need to do is show up and show you the receipts and help you understand it. And you are capable of looking at the primary sources yourself and seeing what's going on yourself. I work for you. I do not work for any sort of political group that's trying to propagandize to you. And by the way, that's the other thing going on about Twitter right now, is it's like everything on Twitter right now is just propaganda for the normie masses who have no idea how any of this works. And it's infuriating. Origami, thanks for being a member of the channel for 2 months. It's definitely a They Live moment when you put it together. Yes, actually, I have a They Live themed t-shirt I've been meaning to launch in my merch store forever. And this is probably an indication from the universe. Karlyn, update the fucking merch store, because I've got a great They Live inspired design coming to the merch store that I want to launch it. Maybe I'm going to do that later. Maybe we'll do that. Anyway, guys, again, you can find all this over on the Substack. That is Karlyn, Karlyn, .substack.com. It's right there in the middle of the page. The picture with me wearing makeup. I know I look different, but like whatever, you know, it's still me. Okay. So just click on that, go do the training, and then come back and we'll be here to help you through it, and it'll be fine. You will go through the 5 stages of grief when you follow my content. And, you know, the cool thing about my community is that we will always be here to help you through the 5 stages of grief. We will be here to help you through the denial, the bargaining, the anger, the depression, and finally usher you into a stage of acceptance where you're just like, yeah, we're fucked, but that's okay, because we all have friends in the Marxist revolution now. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, guys, please make sure you mount the like button for me if you would be so kind. Per usual, there is a shocking disparity between the number of people watching the video right now and the number of people who've liked the video. Liking the video really helps me out on YouTube. It helps me break out of the YouTube shadow ban, helps me get recommended to more people. If you want more people to see this content and come study it with us, please mount the like button for me. And if you don't feel like mounting it because you guys just met, shake the like button's hand, put your arm around the like button, give the like button a hug, give the like button a high five, kiss on the cheek, slap on the ass, do whatever you want to do to the like button. The like button's totally fine. But just do something to the like button, okay? W, Cynthia, thank you so much for the gifted channel memberships, my dear. Thank you for that. Let's add that to the tally. Add it to the tally. Okay, guys, we are watching the organizing call from Mayday Strong last night. Mayday Strong was one of the largest organizations that was involved in the Mayday protest organizing. Thank you, W's in the chat for Ninja Artist. Really do appreciate that. And so we are going to hear what they said on their call last night about where they're going next now that Mayday is over and they have to move into their summer protest season. If you guys have any questions as we are making our way through this, please do put them in the chat. We'll try to answer any and all questions. Let's get the party started. Let's see. Maybe I'll fast forward. Maybe I'll fast forward till it actually starts. Uh-oh.
Live stream people. Good evening, good people. Welcome. We're just giving it a few moments to make sure all the live streaming things are connected. We will be getting started shortly.
Ashley.
Evening, beloveds. Welcome to tonight's Mayday call. I'm so grateful that you're here. My name is Ashley Woodard Henderson, and I'm going to be your MC for this evening. Y'all,
Wait, no way. Hang on. Breaking news update. What the fuck is going on here? Yo! You know, it's funny. I saw they were gonna do this, and I just forgot to go back and see it. Hey guys, this is a live protest that is going on right now at some Manhattan Institute thing. I gotta say, I'm not actually upset that Chris Rufo's shill organization is getting protested by leftists. This is actually pretty fucking funny. Do you guys want to watch protest coverage for a minute, and then we can go into to the Mayday call, which of course is recorded last night. One in the chat if you want to watch protest coverage for a moment. Two in the chat if you want to go back. You guys want to do this. Everyone, I know you guys want to do it. Let's do this. We'll stick with the live coverage for a moment, but we will be watching that Mayday call at some point tonight. Yo! Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike, for the super chat. We got Accent in. W's to Accent with 5 gifted channel memberships. Thanks so much, bro.
Everybody, I will call your attention to our lovely billboard shot.
Oh, they got a truck.
I want to check if as passing local tax the rich and the obvious crime is considered backdoor.
Hey. Thanks, Rudy Judy, for being a member of the channel for 3 months. Appreciate you. Who is this?
Tax the motherfucking rich. Tax the rich. Tax the rich. Tax the motherfucking rich. Tax the rich.
Okay, we know this is not the Party for Socialism and Liberation. We know it's not the People's Forum. The reason we know that is pop quiz for the chat. How do we know that the people protesting are not the Party for Socialism and Liberation and not the People's Forum? Do you guys know how I know that? We don't know if they're the DSA. I don't see any signs saying they're the DSA, but how do I know they're not the Party for Socialism and Liberation or exactly the signs? If it was the Party for Socialism and Liberation or their People's Forum, and those two things are associated, they do a lot of protesting in New York City, which is why I'm explicitly pointing out it's not them. When the PSL and the People's Forum and the Answer Coalition is another one of their groups, they have very specific signs that have like the names of the groups on them. So we know this is not the Party for Socialism and Liberation because there are no signs that indicate that they are. They would be using completely different signs. Well done.
Barbecue, meet the rich. The rich. The rich. Barbecue and eat the rich. Eat 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 the rich. Barbecue and eat the rich.
It's very bizarre to me. Does anyone else find it strange that there are no signs in the crowd to indicate what organization this is? Does anyone else find this strange that have we ever seen a protest in which there like literally no signs, no t-shirts, That's Rise and Resist? That's who it is? Is that what they were saying? Rise and Resist? It's a progressive org. This is funded. That's why. That's why. This is a funded fucking protest. It's a progressive org. This is a funded fucking... This actually is a paid protest. Oh, Rise and Resist. Thank you, Music. I always got the fucking shirt on. You're right. Well spotted. This is an actual paid protest. Wow, man. Wow. Wow. An actual funded fucking protest. An actual funded fucking protest. That is hilarious. Guys, that's not to be confused with what you saw on May Day. May Day was not paid protesters. May Day is a genuine grassroots effort. Whether you like them or not, it is actually a genuine grassroots effort with people who actually believe in what they're doing. This organization is not this. That's not this. That's not what we're seeing here. I promise you. And again, the reason I say this is every single actual march or things like this that we see, you see plenty of people holding up signs, or there's an indication of what groups are involved, because part of the point of doing this is to make their group more visible so they can recruit more members and stuff like that. And it's like, when you're seeing literally no indication of anything except for the guy with the megaphone, that to me says something is amiss in this. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I don't know what the agenda is. But I do not believe this is an actual grassroots leftist protest. 1 in the chat if you think I'm making shit up. 2 in the chat if you think I'm right. I could be wrong, but this is just what my gut is telling me. They were the same people outside the Met Gala. Yeah, I think there's something weird going on here. I don't know why. And why is Status Quo News covering this? That's another question I have, because does Status Quo News do live on the ground protest coverage? Yeah, they do. They do it really well. We watch them all the time. But why is Status Quo News going live specifically to cover this? It's not even that big of a protest. I think there's something amiss. All right. Now that I figured out that that's fraudulent, God, you can never let your guard down for a moment with these people. You can never let your guard down for a fucking moment with these people. You always have to be like, am I watching something real or am I watching a fucking psyop? Whatever. Let's go back to our May Day organizing call, or the post May Day organizing call, and watch this instead. We'll go back to the other thing if anything happens.
What an incredible and historic May Day we just lived through. You all showed that when labor and community come together, we can shut things down and we can build together to meet the needs of our people. We saw Black and brown and working class intergenerational folks all coming together across our differences. We saw disruption of the bad billionaire bosses like Bezos at Amazon and Hilton for housing ICE. We saw folks hit the New York Stock Exchange for profiting off of our misery and more. And throughout all of it, workers and community flexed together, from Operation Push in Chicago to a die-in at XAI in Memphis, Tennessee. Y'all, but that's not all that's happening. We had the biggest and broadest May Day in U.S. history, and yet our opponents are still on the attack.
You know what, Misakan? I was actually thinking, the first thought I had when I saw the guy with the megaphone, and this was, again, I couldn't read what was on his t-shirt, but the very first thought I had was, that looks like ACT UP. But then I didn't see any ACT UP signs, and ACT UP always has signs, so I was like, I guess not. But that's funny that he's connected to ACT UP. That makes total sense.
After the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, they're moving right away to take away Black voters' rights across the South. And they're intending to pass redistricting in a special legislative session in my home state of Tennessee in the next few days. We're going to share some ways to take action before this meeting is over. But before I go a step further, it's going to be super critical that we make sure that this call be inclusive as possible. So I want to toss it to Erica from our language justice team to give us our interpretation announcement. Erica, I'll toss it to you.
Hi everyone, this is Erika Perez. So tonight's meeting will be English and Spanish, and we
Language
have a guest who
justice.
will be speaking in Spanish. So it's very important for you to choose the right channel. It's already activated. My colleague Vanessa is already interpreting, and you can just go at the bottom of your screen. You will see a little globe or where it says more and find language interpretation. So it's important for you to choose English, and you can hear our guest speaker be interpreted into English. He will be speaking in Spanish. If you're using your smartphone or your tablet, please, there's 3 dots at the bottom. Tap there, find language interpretation, choose English, and make sure to press done. And just for the speakers, to have this inclusive space, please mindful of the pace, just the regular pace. Thank you so much. And I will say this in Spanish. Buenas noches. Yo soy Erika y estaré interpretando con Vanessa, mi colega Vanessa, que
Good evening. My name is Erika, and I'm gonna be interpreting with my colleague Vanessa. She's interpreting right now. So it's gonna be really important for you to read it.
No, we're skipping over
And
this. No.
a lovely reminder to
Vanessa, can we show some love?
Oh God. I just almost had a panic attack by hearing Spanish in fucking echo. I'm so sorry I did that to you guys. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I should have fast forwarded through the language justice section. That was my fault. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. Yeah, hi, caramba.
To our interpretation team for this evening, they are doing incredible work to make sure that all of our participants can be here fully. So thank you again for being here. Y'all, again, if you're just now joining, I'm Ashley Henderson. I'm going to be your MC for the evening. We're going to celebrate the incredible work that you all did for May Day to make it one of the most historic I've ever lived through. That's for sure. We were big, we were bad, we were bold. We worked together across difference, and we made impossible things possible through that structure test that we did last Friday. So I'm just grateful to each and every one of you. But I know you're on tonight because you also want to know what needs to be done next. The work didn't end on Friday. So you're going to get to hear from leaders you can trust, both about what we did, the history that we made, but you're also going to hear about what's coming for the May Day Strong movement. I'm so excited and moved beyond measure every time you all choose to be here. This would be a great time for you to tell folks online and in your group chats and your listservs that you're on the call tonight. I know we can get more folks here. So I want you to text 3 people. I want you to go on your socials. I want you to tag Mayday Strong. Let folks know that you are here with us tonight. And as we always do, be sure to introduce yourself in the chat. Say your name, where you're calling in from. If you want to rep an organization, feel free to shout that out too. Now, what do you say we get into tonight's call? The first leader is no stranger to our people. She's the beloved Stacey Davis Gates, president of the Chicago Teachers Union and the Illinois Federation of Teachers. Stacey, I will toss it to you, my dear.
All these years on Zoom and I still can't get it right.
You got it.
Hey, Ashley, it is always good to be in your presence. I always feel love, energy, and support for the hard work we have to do. But I also feel like the joy and what we were able to pull off together on May 1. You know, some of you may have heard or not that there was a bit of a struggle here in Chicago because we don't dream small dreams, we dream big dreams. And this time we made May Day a holiday to be recognized in the school district where our members work. And we thought that that was significant because
the teachers in Chicago literally made May Day a protest holiday. That was very nice of them, wasn't it?
Teachers often need the hook to give the civic education both to the student and to the family. And on this May Day, we were able to have some of the smallest voters engage at Operation Push and the house that Reverend Jackson built. days after the Supreme Court told people like me that our services in maintaining democracy isn't needed anymore. It felt good to be in a space with Black children and Black teachers, celebrating our patriotism as workers. Many of you have heard me say before that it was enslaved Africans who left plantations that gives us the general strike, that produces this democracy that gives us more. And we were able to tell that lessons in dimension. Also with our Latinx students and within their families, those who have survived some of the worst terrorism by the ICE and Homeland Security. They were able to lock arm in arm in Chicago, Black and brown, young and old, throughout labor, throughout community groups, and say that this is our America, we are the people, and we believe that workers have power to transform, to sustain this democracy and create an expanded opportunity for all of us. This upcoming general election in Chicago, will vote for the first fully.
Why do you guys believe that dunking on the libs is going to make a difference? I'm actually asking a question. Like, why do you guys believe that, excuse me, do you know that no one in Chicago can read? Is that stopping them? Is that stopping anything that's going on in the public schools? Is that stopping kids from continuing to being sent to these institutions where they aren't even taught basic skills like how to read? Is that going to change the organizing that they're doing? Is that going to change the fact that they literally made May Day a school holiday so all the kids could go protest? What does it matter? What difference does it make? This is like the same, and I don't mean to pick on you, but like, because people do this all the time. This is like the same when conservatives come out and they're like, where's the funding coming from? We need to figure out how these people are funded. Okay. According to conservatives, they know all of this is funded by Neville Roysingham and the CCP, which is not true, by the way, or George Soros, which is also not true, by the way. So according to conservatives and that data Republican con artist narrative shill on Twitter, they know where all the funding's coming from. And they have these reports saying, here's where the funding's coming from. And Trump was saying there's going to be a big RICO trial against Antifa because we know where Antifa's money is coming from and we're going to RICO all of them. Well, has anything actually happened? Has anything actually happened? Has it made any difference at all? Where the funding's coming from? Has any of the funding been cut? Has any of the funding stopped? Has there been any Antifa RICO trial? No, it's just literally every single time something happens, it's, where's the money coming from? We know where the money's coming from. We need to know where the funding's coming from. Who's funding all this? These are paid protesters. They're all paid for this. They don't have jobs. They're lazy. This is George Soros. This is Neville Roysingham and the CCP. Where's the money coming from? Who's funding the buses? Who's printing the signs? And it's like, you fucking retards. You absolute fucking retards. What have you ever done when you figure out where the funding is coming from? Nothing. Nothing. Like a whole lot of fucking nothing. Okay. So since, Victor just got home. That's why the dog was barking. So since we now know that dunking on the libs does nothing, and since we now know that saying, where's the money coming from, also does nothing, can we now try a new strategy of actually just listening to what they're fucking planning and thinking directly about what they're fucking planning in the real world, and perhaps trying to outmaneuver them for once instead of always being on the back foot and only finding out about something either as it's about to happen or after it's already happened? Can we try a different strategy of maybe being a little fucking proactive? We know what they're talking about in their meetings. We have the recording. Can we sit and listen without dunking on them and pretending we're going to do something about things that we are not going to do anything about?
The elected school board that the city has ever seen. My labor union did that in coalition with the community, and we did it with the mayor who was then the organizer. Chicago is a space for great experimentation on how we get more out of less. While the rest of the world is turning to fascism, in Chicago, we are expanding.
Hey, guys, a very exciting package from China just got delivered, and I think we're going to do a China unboxing as we're watching the stream. I just need to go downstairs and collect the package because I was trying to hide it from Victor, but of course the UPS man came when Victor came home. I was trying to pretend I didn't get nothing. And now, of course, Victor gets home right as the fucking package gets delivered, so I couldn't collect it and hide it before he got home. Anyway, I'm going to go get my package. I'll be right back.
This opportunity for democracy and for the people who need it most. But that's not going to be enough because we know we can't live on an island, which is why I was absolutely wonderful to see all the teachers decked out in red in North Carolina, why it was absolutely urgent to see the occupation of roadways and hotels to push back because we have to practice that resistance. But we also have to make sure that we are organizing and meeting the needs of the people who are both in our union and in our communities. So we have to talk to them. We have to tell them the word and. We have to legislate and we have to litigate and we have to vote. But all of that has to matter because we are organizing them to an expansion of democracy. We are organizing them to more. So, if the right wing is mad at us, if Fox News can't keep our names out of their mouth, that means that we did what we were supposed to do. So listen, I want to make sure that we see this as a test of many tests. And so stay mobilized because we're going to continue the solidarity schools throughout the country. So if you haven't caught one yet, you can catch
Hang on,
one.
I just heard the solidarity schools. Did she explain what solidarity schools was? Okay. For people who don't know, hang on, let me fix my microphone so I can actually hear myself. I need to fix my headphones. There we go. So basically what they're doing is they are going to be hosting what they're calling solidarity schools all over the country to basically teach people how to go on strike. Because of course, and again, if she covered this, I apologize. Because of course, the May Day 2026 strike was not the big one. The May Day 2028 strike is the big one. That's when all the shit's going to go down. That's when they're going to try to shut down the economy. And so what they're doing is they're using May Day, like last week, as a structure test to figure out how many people they have on their side so they can continue to build out their numbers leading up to May Day 2 years from now. And that's part of what they're doing is called solidarity schools. They're going to host schools and classes all over the country, teaching people how to go organize and go on strike, essentially. So for people who think the left is just being lazy, I mean, they're organizing years-long training programs, guys, to get everyone to go on strike at the same time. So maybe not so lazy. Maybe not so lazy. Maybe not so lazy. Hey, look at this package I just got from China. You guys want me to open the China package? We'll see if these goods are any good. All right. I'm going to work on opening the package as we listen.
More. So, if the right wing is mad at us, if Fox News can't keep our names out of their mouth, that means that we did what we were supposed to do. So listen, I want to make sure that we see this as a test of many tests. And so stay mobilized because we're going to continue the solidarity schools throughout the country. So if you haven't caught one yet, you can catch one.
If you haven't
told your friends about it, your colleagues about it, you get to do it now. Number 2, we're going to fight for more investment. The rich do have to pay their.
Listen. I gotta say one thing for China. They wrap their packages like my mother wraps a fucking Christmas present. Like ain't nothing getting through this China box.
Fair share. That's not just a rallying cry. That's an actual fact. So in places like Illinois and Tennessee, the labor and community coalitions are pushing for more. Mayday strong is going to celebrate how America became more expansive, more dimensional, by telling the story of workers, and in particular, telling the story of Black workers, of female workers, of queer workers, of all workers, to make sure that the America that we are trying to build is more expansive, more inclusive. So I want to say this. Mayday Strong is a space in which we get to strategize, where we get fellowship, where we get to practice community. But we're not practicing just because it makes us feel good. We're practicing this because it is our organizing, our vision, our ability to coalesce together that is going to save us, right? And I'll end it on this. I'm a high school history teacher, and I can tell you that there's never been a movement that has created more for all of us, that did not include our young people, that did not include workers, that did not include the community. So I will tell you, the lesson that we take back today is that make sure young people are in this movement and that they're leading us. Number two, make sure that you are making room for your Black and brown leaders and organizers, because it only works when it works for all of us. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Mayday Strong. Let's keep it going. The power is in the people.
Yeah, and thanks for
Came in a
always
Gucci
reminding
box.
us
I
of
didn't even
that,
order
Stacey,
anything
and
Gucci.
embodying the leadership that is an open invitation for people to get down with our movement. We love you. Thanks for making time for the call tonight. Y'all, you're already seeing tech folks. Shout out to all the folks that are making this call possible, including the tech folks. They're dropping links in the chat that you can take action with right now. The first being filling out the form to connect with partners that are near you. So I want you to click that bit.ly link to join the Mayday Strong movement and make sure that you stay in touch with the organizations that are doing the hard and important work on the ground. Next up to you again, no stranger. He's my brother. He's my friend. He is my party leader. Shout out to the Mighty Working Families Party.
Hey.
I can't wait for y'all to hear a good word from Maurice Mitchell. Mo, I will kick it to you next.
Oh, thank you so much, Ashley. I'm here on the streets of New York City, and I'm so happy to be with you, Ashley. I'm so happy to be with everybody. My sister, one of the baddest.
This is the Working Families Party. The Working Families Party is exactly like the DSA, except they are not as big as the DSA, and but they're mostly like hyper localized to the Northeast, but also kind of getting into the Southwest. So the first thing in the China box is a pair, and there are two of them. To do my sorry, you guys are gonna have to deal with the unboxing. It's just about being a part of my channel. You have to go shopping in China with me too. These are fucking nice. Holy shit. Holy shit. These are a pair of sandals, of flip-flops that I wanted from not really that brand, but exactly like that brand. And these are really fucking nice, actually. These are like leather. These are like really high quality. But I wanted to get a pair of sandals because they look cool. Anyway, that's first unboxing. Second, and they come in dust bags too. They each come in their own dust bag because they're fancy like that. And then my watch isn't in here. Maybe it's in here. And then I hope it's fucking in here. I'm gonna be mad if they didn't ship my watch. Then we have a bag that I wanted for a long time and has no practical use at all. This is not a practical bag, but I thought it was really, really pretty. Let me see. No, they left my fucking watch out. Oh no. Well, I'm gonna have to get in touch with them. But the bag is cool. This is actually really fucking nice. There we go. Bing. How pretty. It's patent leather. This is not a practical bag. This is not a practical bag. I just wanted this bag ever since I saw it. Because it's pretty. The strap is a little short. I don't like that so much. I might replace that. But that is the bag. That is the bag. Pretty bag. Anyway, that's it. We can get back to the show now. Thank you for the intermission. Now I'm about to email them and be like, where the fuck is that watch I ordered? Because they ain't in this package.
one of the most focused and committed labor leaders in our country, Stacey Davis Gates, and all the other folks who are lined up to speak to you today. I can't tell you how honored I am to be with you. And listen, my name is Maurice Mitchell. I'm the National Director of the Working Families Party. If you have access to the chat, then we're going to do a virtual chant, because the Working Families Party is the political party that is focused like a laser to make sure that our government works for working people and isn't captured by corporations and oligarchs and the bosses, but is actually beloved and held in the hands of the people. So when I say, who are we? Write in the chat, WFP, capital W, capital F, capital P. The WFP is your party.
Working
And look,
Families Party.
We're coming off another powerful May Day, people. And look, this is an exciting moment for us to reflect on what we've done. And look, people have raised their voices in the streets, online, and in their communities. I've heard those voices. I feel so encouraged. And for as much bad news as there is, the good news is this: the people are still fighting back. We are not surrendering to despair, because despair is a political project of the far right and the bosses. I wake up every day doing this work because the people have spoken. They're fed up with an economy that doesn't work for them and a political system that shuts them out. And our people are looking for something else. The Working Families Party is that something else. We are in a rare window, one that could shape this country for a generation, because the truth is the people in power have been waging a one-sided class war against working people for decades. And now, more than any time in recent memory, people are rising up. This is the rising, pissed off majority. Millions answer the call for May Day. Over 5,000 actions across the country. That's not a moment. It is a movement. It is a growing and building movement. I can feel that momentum coming from May Day Strong. And people are fighting because in the richest country in the world, the working people who keep this country running are getting robbed. Worse, they're being shut out of a democracy they're supposed to control. That's why we launched the Working Families Guarantee. In a country with more than enough wealth, people are struggling to afford the basics. The Working Families Guarantee draws a line. A home you could afford, healthcare you can rely on, a good union job, childcare you can access, and paid leave to care for you and your family. All it takes is asking the people who have stolen the wealth in this country to pay what they owe us. So this isn't a dream, it is a demand, and we know it's possible because we've already won pieces of it across the country. We passed first of their kind paid family leave and sick time programs in states like Connecticut and New Jersey. We've guaranteed childcare in New Mexico, and we're about to do it in New York City. We can rack up more wins in state after state and in Congress too, but we can't win any of that if we don't also defend our democracy. So, because at the same time that people are rising up, those in power are trying to rig the game even further. The Supreme Court's decision in Louisiana versus Calais is another attack on the Voting Rights Act and on Black and brown political power. Make no mistake. This is about silencing communities and deciding outcomes before a single vote is cast. So look, let's be clear. They're trying to take away our voice because they know what happens when we use our voice. They know the power of the people. Even when we don't, they do. But we know this. We know the playbook, and we know how to beat their playbook. We organize, we turn out, and we build power that no map can contain. So if you feel yourself slipping into despair, remember May Day. Remember the workers who showed up, the thousands of actions, the millions of people building this together. That's the power we're working with. And that's what will carry us forward into the fight for the Working Families Guarantee and the fight to defend our democracy. Moving forward, there are 3 things you can do to keep the momentum going. You could join a phone bank and canvass to reach working class voters in key communities like Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Bakersfield, California. You could follow the link wpus.org/priority. You can also...
Is anyone on the right doing anything like this except for Scott Pressler? With Scott Pressler being the one and only exception, is anyone on the right doing anything like this? I can't think of anyone. And I don't even think Scott Pressler is doing stuff like this to the degree that the Working Families Party is. And that's not a dig on Scott Pressler. I think Scott Pressler is awesome. I think Scott Pressler is doing yeoman's work. I think that Scott Pressler has literally put himself in the hospital, working himself into it. And so I'm not trying to shit on Scott Pressler, but I don't think he's even doing stuff like this all that consistently. I think he's doing the best he can. He's trying to do everything all over the country at the same time, and he's one person. But I can't think of any other group that, or any other person that's doing stuff like this on the right at all. The Working Families Party are Democratic Socialists, not in terms of Democratic Socialists of America. They're a different political party, but they are Democratic Socialists because they're socialists who believe in reformism, getting elected to local office, stuff like that. So that puts them in the same category as the DSA.
Help elect WFP
These sandals
champions
are
across
really
the
good, by the
country
way.
by joining
Really
upcoming
impressively
phone
good.
banks and canvases. You could follow the link, wps.org/volunteer WFP candidates. And you could sign the pledge to support the Working Families Guarantee at wfpus.org/guarantee. Because May Day wasn't the end. It was not the end. This is just the beginning. We're getting started. I hope you all feel that momentum. We're going to organize our communities and build working class power at the ballot box. We're not
There was a
asking
super
for
chat.
what we need.
I apologize. I didn't see it come through. Thank you, Lord of the Ree. I know the left is far more organized for a multitude of reasons, but what do we do about the glaringly obvious fact that they're allowed to organize, but every time we do, we get arrested? How about you demand the Trump administration fucking arrest them? How about you demand to know why the Trump administration isn't arresting them? That's what you do. That's what you do. There is no reality in which the left can do something when they are in power that the right cannot do when they are in power. That is not reality. If Trump wanted to be out there arresting the protesters, he would be out there arresting the protesters. If Trump wanted to be out there doing the mass deportations that he claimed to want to do, he would be out there doing the fucking mass deportations. If he wanted to do these things, he would do them. If it was politically advantageous for him to do these things, he would do them. But as of right now, Trump's base seems to be perfectly fine with Trump not arresting anyone. So if you want to do something, go demand that Trump and his DOJ and the FBI do their fucking jobs. They declared Antifa a terrorist organization, and then they arrested a whopping total of like 8 fucking people, and those people shot up an ICE facility. So why isn't Trump doing his fucking job? That would be the question I would be asking. It's not as if he can't do the same thing that the Democrats did. They rounded up everyone that was at January 6th in like a month, maybe even less. Do you think Trump can't do that with Antifa if they actually knew what the fuck they were doing? Or at least make some good headway, especially in the major cities? So why can the Democrats do that with people who are at January 6th, but Trump can't do that with Antifa, which was already last year declared a terrorist organization?
We're not asking. The people know what we deserve. We are coming to collect. Thank you. God bless. Let's organize.
That's my party leader right there, y'all. Y'all show some love to Maurice Mitchell. You can join the Working Families Party, and you're seeing, again, the links in the chat. We want you to hit that wfpus.org/priority. You've already got 2 calls to action. You can support the priority actions this month the WFP is doing to make sure working champions get into elected positions to fight for our folks from the inside out. And you can sign up to stay in touch with.
Well, bro, I gave you the answer. Demand Trump do his fucking job. The reason the left has not been arrested is because the Trump administration haven't done it. Go demand they do their fucking job.
With folks that are building up Mayday strong work all across the country in a town or city near you. Please hit those chat links and we will keep it moving. Next up, from one of my favorite unions in the work, the National Nurses United crew, I get to introduce to you Juliette Etienne from New Orleans. Juliette, I'll toss it to you next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Juliette. I'm an emergency room nurse at University Medical Center in New Orleans. Thank you so much for having me on this call. I'm really excited to be talking to all of y'all. We started our 6th strike on May Day, and I'm so proud of all my coworkers, very humbled to see how dedicated all of my colleagues are for putting pressure on our employer and coming out to the picket, coming out to the strike. This weekend, I feel like has been a perfect example of the spirit of May Day. So I'm a new grad nurse, which means I've been working as a nurse for under a year. I've worked at University Medical Center for about 10 months now.
What do you do when Trump doesn't do his job? You vote for the Democrats and you hope that the GOP burns itself down. That's what you do. That's it. But don't make any fucking excuses for why you can't go and do things in the real world. Don't make any fucking excuses. When we do things, we get arrested. Okay, that's a fucking coward's excuse. The left gets arrested all the fucking time. Not only does the left get arrested, the left trains people to get arrested. They volunteer to get arrested. They set up entire systems to bail you out of jail with mutual aid that they raise to give you a lawyer, either an Antifa lawyer who's actually just a lawyer or to work with the National Lawyers Guild or something like that. Don't make fun. They all arrest us. They arrest the left all the fucking time. Why do you get to be a coward? Because you don't want to go through the inconvenience of fucking getting arrested. This is why the left is winning. Because they're willing to get arrested. They volunteer to get arrested. They train to get arrested. So.
Are the first nurses union in the state of Louisiana. My brave coworkers started our underground campaign about 3 years ago, and we won our NLRB election in November of 2023. And I've been fighting alongside them since June of last year. The reason we went on strike is because we've been in negotiations for over 2 years and we still don't have a contract. We actually had to file an unfair labor practice charge.
Okay, again, and this is the last time I'm going to address you on this, and I do appreciate the super chat, but like I'm giving you the answer and you're not listening. What you need to do on a larger scale is pressure Trump to do his fucking job and to tell him, we are not going to vote Republican if you do not do your job. And then you need to follow through on it and let them lose the midterms. That is what you need to do on a larger scale. Demand on a large scale from Trump's fucking base, do your fucking job and arrest them. I can't get you guys to do this. You have to do it on your own. And then when Trump refuses, as he will, because it is not politically advantageous for him to do so, and he never intended on doing it anyway, and they don't even know who the fuck Antifa is. When Trump refuses and no one gets arrested, you do not vote for Republicans in November. No one. You let them lose. You let them lose in the most embarrassing possible way. Because if they aren't going to do their fucking job, they do not deserve to have the power. And no, they are not doing anything to fight the left. And I will not pretend that they are. I will not pretend that voting for Republicans, when Republicans refuse to do anything when they get into office, is fighting against the left. They aren't fucking fighting against the left. They aren't doing anything against the left. And they're not doing anything against the left because their voter base allows them to get away with it. If they thought they were going to lose, if they didn't get their asses in gear, then they would get their asses in gear. I fucking promise you. So that's what needs to happen. They need to lose in November. You want a large scale thing to do? Get as many people to vote against Republicans as possible, unless Trump actually starts arresting Antifa.
Against LCMC, which is our parent company. And they continue to show up to the bargaining table and go through the motions. They're not taking us seriously about coming to a contract. They'll cancel bargaining days. They won't reschedule them. They think they can just wait us out until we'll get tired and go away. But we've been proving them wrong for 2 years, and especially over the last 5 days during this strike. University Medical Center is a level 1 trauma center. And we're also a designated stroke center and a designated burn center, which means
it's all good, Lord of the Reed. Don't worry about it. I do
take care
appreciate
of a
the
lot
super
of
chat.
very sick patients. We get sent patients from other hospitals all around the area who don't have the specialties or the capability that we have. And as the only unionized hospital in the state of Louisiana, that gives us more protection to stand up and fight back against the hospital with our unsafe staffing, our lack of resources.
Listen, if you're already doing those things, that's all you can do then. That's it. If you're already doing those things, that's all you can do.
LCMC is much more concerned with maximizing revenue than with the health of our patients, the well-being of their employees. They want to funnel money to the top and give raises to executives. Instead of staffing us with enough nurses, we need to adequately take care of our patients, because nurses don't want to have to go on strike. We want to be in the hospital taking care of our patients, but we feel like management has pushed us to the point where our only option is to strike to make them take us seriously.
So nurses going on strike,
One of the best
great
parts
idea.
about being part of this coalition and celebrating May Day is we got to organize and promote with lots of other groups in New Orleans. We partnered with Tulane Workers United, who just got their first contract. They were also fighting for over 2 years. We partnered with Step Up Louisiana, who advocates for all workers, and they also spearheaded our historic Workers' Bill of Rights here in New Orleans. And nurses also partner with Union Migrante, who do incredible work defending our undocumented immigrants in the city of New Orleans. Nurses understand how labor issues dovetail with our campaign for Medicare for all, our fight to abolish ICE, and our struggle for healthcare, not wealthcare, or healthcare, not warfare, from Ukraine to Iran to Gaza and Lebanon. It's our job to heal whoever comes into the hospital, regardless of the immigration status or anything else. No human is illegal, and everyone is entitled to basic human rights and a dignified life and a dignified experience in the hospital. It was an incredible experience being out there on the picket line with all of my other brave nurses. I'm excited to see us finally get this contract, and thank you so much for having me on this call.
Juliet, we're sending so much love and solidarity to you and all the nurses in New Orleans and to all of the NNU team. We're so grateful. Thank you for being on with us tonight. Yo, we're going to keep on keeping on. Our next speaker is the incredible Maggie Costello from the Sunrise Movement at McAllister College in Minnesota. Maggie, I'll toss it to you next.
Young.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this call. This is really, really exciting, and this has been really cool to see. I love hearing about what people have been up to in terms of working class movements across the US. It's really inspiring and it's really powerful. Yeah, so I'm here because on Friday, May Day, 6 people, including me, blockaded Hennepin Avenue Bridge in Minneapolis by sitting in the road until we were arrested. We stopped traffic for a total of 43 minutes. And for anybody who hasn't sat in the middle of a road before, 43 minutes is a really, really long time to do that. It was, the background noise is a speaker in an airport. Just like, don't worry about that. It's okay. But it's a really long time, and it feels like a really long time. It is really scary. My legs were numb. It was cold. It was probably the third most terrifying.
We got a super chat. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm under no delusion that Trump is not doing his job, but maybe need to reevaluate what we think Trump's job is, despite the obvious signals as to who he is aligned with. I mean, okay, listen. I don't give a flying. I appreciate the super chat. I do. I don't give a flying fuck what you think Trump's job is. I think Trump's job is to actually do something about the far left in America. That is the only thing I care about. Is Trump doing something about the problem that I care about? Is Trump doing something about, really, I think, the biggest threat that we all face? Is Trump following through on what he's already said he's going to do regarding this issue? This is a binary. This is a yes or a no. And it doesn't matter to me what you or anyone else think Trump's job is. I think that Trump's job is to stop this fucking problem. Because this problem is fucking all of us. And so, for me, again, if he's not doing that, he needs to go, and the Republicans need to lose massively. And I hope that when the Democrats win in November, that Trump is impeached. I fucking hope that Trump is impeached. This is how much I hate Trump for how much he has fucked up the last couple of years.
I've ever been. And, you know, I like to think of myself as someone with really strong, deeply rooted convictions. And it's easy to feel like that and to kind of feel strong in those convictions when you're making the pre-arrest video, when you're surrounded by people that support you and who feel the same way as you. And I think that comes through. You know, I think that the world can be a better, fairer, kinder place than it is now. I believe that putting an end to genocide and imperial expansion, the burning of forests, is worth putting my body on the line. I believe that the lives of people in climate risk zones and the people most impacted by the issues that we're kind of fighting against are valuable enough for me to risk pretty much, you know, anything. And that is, and that's, you know, that's great. And that's great to believe. But as much as I believe that, that was not in my mind the moment that I was on that bridge when the cops pulled up behind us. And, you know, you're sitting there and there are cars in front of you. People are telling those cars to run over you. There's like a cop telling you that you have one chance to leave and you will get just a citation. You'll be able to walk away with no consequences. And in that moment, kind of like, there's a lot of like animal gut reaction, fear, and like noise in your brain. And the thought that kind of cut through that was not like, oh, all of these convictions about like why I'm doing this, which I do believe in, which is really important to me. It was Megan is next to me and Megan is staying. And Catherine is next to me and Catherine is staying. And those are my friends. And if they're not moving, I'm not going to move. And I think that that is kind of like how, that's how movements succeed. You know, movements don't succeed because of one heroic, fearless individual. They succeed because people are willing to stand by each other when things get difficult. Movements don't succeed because of any individual ever. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. You know, I think a lot, we've been hearing a lot, and you might have heard a lot, that we outnumber them in terms of we outnumber the like 1%. You have the ability to make the world better. If you want a better world, you should do it. And I think that it's really important that we remember that that doesn't mean that you have to be one exceptional person and to do something crazy and alone. It means that all you need to do is like stand with other people. You are not alone. You are part of a larger movement, and that's important. And so that's kind of why Sunrise is a really, really important organization for me. Sunrise is, there are a lot of people in Sunrise. Sunrise has been doing this for a long time. They have a lot of practice. They have a lot of people, and they have a lot of attention. And, you know, I have spent a lot of time wondering why Sunrise is so successful, because we have, and, you know, because I wasn't the only person who did an action with Sunrise. We had people occupying hotels in Portland. We had people occupying Wall Street in New York. We shut down sectors of the economy as much as we could with the numbers that we have. And so just imagine what we could shut down if we had more people, if we got as many people as we could. And that is kind of, Sunrise is only going to get more powerful because, and all of these movements and all of this solidarity is only going to get more powerful the more people that we can convince to join. And they don't need to be like incredible individuals. They don't need to be like fearless. They just need to be willing to join and be willing to take the power that we already have and wield it against billionaires. And we've done it before, and it will happen again. And so that's kind of the main thing. We really are holding a welcome call on Thursday at 8 p.m. The link is in the chat. I think it's been sent like a couple different times. But yeah, we would love to see you there. Sunrise is amazing, and it's really given me so much support. I think the action that I did on May Day was the most organized action I've ever seen. Like, it was very well coordinated, and I was really impressed by that. So yeah. And
what that means, guys, is they're getting better and more effective in their organizing. They're making it easier for people to participate. By getting better and more effective in their organizing, they are making it easier for people to show up and participate. They're making it more comfortable for people to participate. Does everyone understand this? If people show up and they feel like things are organized and they know what's going on and they know where to go and they know, you know, who's there and everyone's being real nice to them, they are making it easy for people to show up and be a part of this movement.
I think that we do have the ability to attack the means of production, to seize the means of production. And to take back what is ours. So yeah.
Maggie, we love you. We love the whole Sunrise team. You're getting so much love in the chat. I hope you get a second to revel in people's gratitude for reminding us that all of our feelings of despair, as Mo mentioned earlier, feelings of fear, are valid, and that we are stronger together, and that strength, that solidarity in practice is an invitation to being courageous in the face of this authoritarian regime. We are grateful for you, Maggie. We're grateful for the Sunrise team. Thanks for being on tonight. So now y'all got multiple calls to action for all of my homies in the chat and in the Q&A that are like, what's next? What's next? We dropping links. And if the chat is moving too quickly, we're trying to pause it every now and then. But if the chat is moving too quickly and you missed a link, do not sweat it. We're going to make sure that you get them in the email following the call. We love and appreciate you, and we're going to keep dropping links in the chat. The most recent is join the Sunrise welcome call, y'all. We're going to put that link in the chat again. We hope to see you all there. Y'all, a quick reminder, because our next speaker is going to be speaking in Spanish. I want to make sure you all can hear the interpretation. So if you have...
Oh, man. We have to listen to someone speak Spanish. Can I get a round of L's in the chat? L's for all of us. L for Spanish.
Not yet
no habla
gone to the globe
español.
at the bottom of your Zoom screen, You might have to click the 3 dots where it says more to see it. If you don't see it immediately on the bottom of your screen, I want you to click those 3 dots. I want you to find the globe. And I want you, if you are an English speaker, to pick English. If you are a Spanish speaker, I want you to pick Spanish so that we can all hear the brilliance of our next speaker.
This is bullshit.
With no further ado, I want to bring up David Trujillo, SEIU United Service Workers West, who worked for a contractor of United Airlines at the San Francisco airport. Brother David, I will toss it to you next.
Hola.
Hola, taco.
Hola a todos,
burrito.
espero que
Hello, everyone. I hope you are listening to me. My name is David Trujillo Abrego, and I used to work as an agent at the International Airport in San Francisco. I'm also a member of SEIU, the USWW. I'm very excited to be speaking here this afternoon, evening with all of you, my colleagues who work at the airport. We do essential work for the airport so that everything can run perfectly. We clean inside the airplanes. We help people with disabilities with wheelchair, and also we clean the bathroom of the airplane. And also, if there's something that's not done right on the airplane.
I mean, my question is, why wasn't he required to learn English to work at the airport in San Francisco? I'm just saying. Lord of the Rings, thanks for the super chat. This lady looks like God took her left eye and copied it and flipped it upside down and used it for her right eye. We're not gonna. I don't care how she looks. I don't care how she looks. Ashley has a look. That's very true. What Ashley is saying is far, 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 far more important than how Ashley looks. I do appreciate the super chat, though. Thank you.
Airplane would never take off, so it's essential. All of the work that we do, the vast majority of us, they only pay less than $22 an hour. And
guys, the vast majority of the no English speaking workforce at the San Francisco airport are only paid $22 an hour. They're only paid $22 an hour. Or more, potentially.
So it's essential. All of the work that we do, the vast majority of us, they only pay less than $22 an hour.
Oh, no.
And the base state is not enough to live, because
they go back
we
to
see
Mexico.
the huge tech bros due to that the price of the living here is so expensive. We are not engineers in the tech company, and the living condition.
If you cannot afford to live in San Francisco on your $22 an hour salary as a non-English speaker working at the fucking airport, then perhaps you should move to a cheaper location, or you should go back to Mexico. Mexico has airports too. You can go work at an airport in Mexico and you can see how much they'll pay you at the airport in Mexico. Thank you for the super chat. On a more reverent note, you are among the few that have spiritual fortitude to wade through this dumpster all day, every day. Hang in there. What you do is extremely difficult to do, so thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you very much. Guys, if you appreciate what I do, we still have a ways to go to meet the channel membership goal for today. If you guys really want to help me out, one of the best ways you can support the channel is by donating channel memberships. I do, of course, appreciate all the super chats. You guys rock. I really appreciate it. But if we can get some more channel memberships thrown in the pot for today, that would be really awesome. We are doing a class today. We're actually getting about 2/3 of the way through the presentation. So we're really falling short in the goal today. But I would appreciate it if we can make some progress. Thank you so much for allowing me to do what I do. But we're going to keep going and we'll see how far we get, I guess.
And the price is so expensive that we cannot afford that. we have been talking to the contractors who are not, they do not want to bargain in good faith, and we're not making enough salary. That's why on May 1st, we joined the International May Day at the International Airport in San Francisco. We had so many supports from different community organizations, other unions, supervisors from San Francisco, and a state
Did I miss a
senator.
channel membership?
I cannot mention all of the names because it will take me too long. But about 25 people who decided to take direct action. They got arrested for our cause, the cause of the workers and the airport workers, because most of us are immigrants like myself. The employees, we are afraid to take some actions because, of course, there will be repercussions with respect to our immigration status. But these organizations, these leaders, state elected folks who join us, and they were in solidarity fight that day. It helped us a lot to visualize our struggle in front of the authorities of the airport, airlines, the public, and the workers around the country. We deserve a fair treatment, a balanced salary, because of due to all of the work that we.
Yeah, actually, spare me your angst over on Rumble says, regarding Ashley's makeup, it appears to me that her makeup has been intentionally queered. If I am wrong, I'm sure Karlyn will correct me. I think there is probably something to that. Ashley has a very specific look that she's going for. We've been watching Ashley for what, like 2 years now or something like that. It's the same look. She is going for that look. That look is completely intentional. So I'm sure there's something about, I'm sure she's making some artistic commentary with it. It could very well be that she has queered her appearance to go against capitalist beauty standards. It could also be with the afro a nod to the black liberation, the black feminists, stuff like that, because fun fact, we don't watch this stuff a lot, but there are still real Black Panther style feminists, black feminists on the socialist left. I've seen them in person, and they all have fucking afros. And I'm talking not just Ashley size afro. I have seen these women with the big shaft afros in person at these events. And so that does still exist. And so maybe it's the part of that. I don't know, but you can't say she doesn't have a specific thing she's going for,
and also professional equipment and safety at work. We will keep joining our voices and take actions around our demands until we make it a reality. To end up, it brings it cuts my attention, other frameworks that I heard from the nurses union, that they also have the same struggles, the same issues, and about everything, that we have a very wealthy country, a huge economy, and that we have to keep fighting back and keep being together strongly. Thank you for everything, and have a good evening.
Adios,
We love you.
muchacho.
Thank you for being on.
Go back to
with
Mexico
us tonight, y'all. We're gonna keep pushing these calls to action. I need you to make sure you're grabbing these links. So for folks that are wondering how you can get involved, we've dropped our partner forum. We want to make sure that you're connected to the Mayday Strong movement so that you can be abreast of all of the next steps that we're going to be sharing tonight and beyond it. Y'all make sure that you do it. And when you've done it, I want you to prove it. I want you to tell me in the chat that you got it done. I want you to go on socials, invite other people, hashtag Mayday Strong so we can track it. Be sure that you're inviting other people to throw down with you to build this working people's power, y'all. We love and appreciate you. Next, we're going to bring up two speakers, Max Harmon, a high school carpentry teacher and president-elect of the Chatham County Association of Educators, and Aurelio Estevez, a multilingual learner, teacher, and a Chatham County Association of Educators union leader. Y'all show some love for Max and Aurelio.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
Oh, the
This is
white man.
Max. Alirio and I are coming to you from Chatham County in North Carolina, where we both teach
North
in a
Carolina.
small town. You
North Carolina. North Carolina. If only conservatives had known that the teachers in North Carolina were going to shut down the entire state and schools across the state weeks before May Day. Can anyone think of someone who tried to warn the right that the teachers in North Carolina were going to shut down every school in the state? Because we watched these organizing calls and they had people on from North Carolina talking about how they were going to shut down the schools in every state. Like literally weeks before the event happened, we had recordings saying they were going to do that. And then all of a sudden on May Day, everyone was shocked that the teachers in North Carolina shut down the entire state. No, it wasn't Andy No, that was me. Andy No didn't know shit about this. Andy No doesn't do real journalism. Andy No pays other people to do his journalism. I recorded these people weeks before May Day saying we're going to shut down every school in North Carolina. I put all that shit out on the internet. I screamed about it. We all shared it. And per usual, the Republicans did fuck off about it because they weren't paying attention and they didn't fucking listen. And then May Day comes and all the schools in North Carolina are shut down. And they're like, how did this happen? How did the teachers in North Carolina do this? Why would they do this to us? It's like, you fucking retards. You retards. I tried to tell you about this weeks ago.
might know North Carolina as a place that has one of the lowest union densities in the entire United States. You might know it as a place that has a lot of labor laws very hostile to the kind of work we're trying to do. You might not know that last Friday on May Day, over 90,000 public school workers did not work at the school building that day.
No kidding.
That's a majority of all public school workers in North Carolina. And they were not in the classroom, not because they wanted a day off, but because they knew that they had work to do in our state capital in Raleigh.
Uh-huh.
So we were shutting down, again, a majority of all public school workers that day because we were launching what we're calling our Kids Over Corporations campaign. We launched that.
The teachers' unions in North Carolina shut down the majority of schools in North Carolina so they could go be political activists to overthrow the government. That's what we're talking about. We always need to remember that. The ultimate goal of these people is to overthrow the government. All of them. That is what they mean when they say abolition and liberation. Abolition of capitalism, abolition of the government, abolition of the Constitution, liberation from the oppressive capitalist society. Again, good sir.
All public school workers in North Carolina. And they were not in the classroom, not because they wanted a day off, but because they knew that they had work to do in our state capital in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
So we were shutting down, again, a majority of all public school workers that day because we were launching what we're calling our Kids Over Corporations campaign. We launched that on May Day. Kids Over Corporations speaks to the actual reality in North Carolina, which is that our legislators, who because of gerrymandered maps have a near supermajority in our legislature, have decided to give billions of dollars every single year to corporate tax cuts instead of to the public schools. And so Kids Over Corporations is what we're saying our state actually demands and deserves. And we believe, and I think we have good evidence to back it up, that a super majority of people in North Carolina and actually in the entire United States believe in supporting our kids more than they believe in giving welfare checks to corporations in the form of tax breaks. So this is a super majority issue that we are fighting, lifting up loudly and clearly on May Day, right? That kids deserve to be put first and not corporations. And we as public school workers are going to stand up and do it. I want to say just a couple of things about how we pulled it off, what it means, and then I'm going to pass to Alirio to talk a few more details. We pulled this off, y'all, not just in the big cities, right? The progressive bastions. We closed school districts around the state. Rural areas, suburban and urban. And again, they
didn't just do it in the cities, guys. They didn't just do it in the progressive bastions in North Carolina. You're telling me they did it in the more rural areas of North Carolina? I thought those were supposed to be red areas, and yet it seems as though the teachers unions in North Carolina shut down the majority of schools across the state, including in more rural areas outside of the progressive cities.
A couple of things about how we pulled it off, what it means, and then I'm going to pass to Alirio to talk a few more details. We pulled this off, y'all, not just in the big cities, right? The progressive bastions. We closed school districts around the state in rural areas, suburban and urban. And again, we did that on the theory that people actually believe in public education and the notion that every child deserves a right to a good education.
Mm-hmm.
We also did that with structure-based organizing, which means despite the fact that we don't have collective bargaining or the right to strike in North Carolina, we do know how to organize and we're not playing around. And so when we went out and closed our school districts, we, Alirio and I, and the county that we belong to, Chatham County, small county, we actually were the first district to close. And we did that because we figured out how many school teachers putting in a day, like calling out sick more or less, would overwhelm the substitute teacher system. And
they figured out in a rural area in North Carolina how to get enough teachers to call out sick so that it would overwhelm the substitute teacher system. This to me seems like intentional sabotage that should, in theory, perhaps cost all of them their jobs, except they won't because nothing ever happens. Explain to us again how you completely sabotage the school district to skirt around the laws that are supposed to prevent you retards from striking, and you just ignored it and did it anyway?
The right to a good education. We also did that with structure-based organizing, which means despite the fact that we don't have collective bargaining or the right to strike in North Carolina, we do know how to organize and we're not playing around. And so when we went out and closed our school districts, we, Alirio and I, and the county that we belong to, Chatham County, small county, we actually were the first district to close. And we did that because we figured out how many school teachers putting in a day, like calling out sick more or less, would overwhelm the substitute teacher system.
You don't say.
And we talked to all of our colleagues and we had lists and we went door to door and we had conversations.
Wow.
Not just with Democrats, right? We talked to our people, Republican, Democrat, Independent, because actually all of us believe that our kids deserve the best.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Republican teachers supported this? It wasn't just Democrats. It was independents, Republicans, and Democrats all doing it together? You don't say. You don't say.
And that gave us the confidence that, hey, we actually did have the numbers in order to shut down the district. And we succeeded in doing so in Chatham County. And we were the first domino that then cascaded around the state of North Carolina.
Wow.
So in North Carolina, we're proving that people care about kids, public education, and working people more than they do about corporate tax cuts. So again, I just want to make this point and then pass to Alirio. We're lifting up the notion with the Kids Over Corporations campaign, not just that our state should be allocating public resources towards real public services, but also that we as public school workers are going to stand up for democracy itself.
That means socialism.
Because we as public school workers believe that our kids deserve to grow up in a democracy. And that's our business, right? And there's nobody else who's coming to save us or our kids. It's going to have to be us. And so we're stepping up and making that clear. Part of our demands, we're noting that, hey, every single person deserves to live and grow up free from fear and violence and intimidation, no matter where you were born. That means everybody's constitutional rights need to be protected, again, regardless of where you were born. So we are asserting ourselves as public school workers. Hey, if things go weird in November, we are going to be there, right? We are going to be standing up and making clear that our kids deserve to grow up in a democracy free from fear, violence, and intimidation.
Oh, yeah? Are you telling me that the public school teachers in North Carolina are already planning to protest the 2026 midterms if it doesn't go the way they want it to? Kind of seems like an insurrection to me.
And authoritarianism. And I'm going to pass to Alirio to tell us a little bit about how our work in Kids Over Corporations connects directly as well to our fight against immigration and customs enforcement and authoritarianism in general.
Oh, wow. The school teachers in North Carolina are also doing anti-ICE organizing. You don't say. Aurelio doesn't know how to use it.
Aurelio, you're on mute, love.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Brown.
Last week, last October, November, ICE was around our area, and we, the teachers, along with other groups of allies, were able to organize. So we were able to create groups who would patrol the schools and make sure our kids were safe. We make sure that the parents knew they were safe. So we got channels directly to communicate with the parents. So we tell them, okay, everything is cool in the school. So you're free. You can send your children to the school. Don't be afraid, because we teachers, we stand up for everybody. We love our children. We love our families. We care about them. We care about everybody, no matter where they come from, no matter their status, no matter their economic status. We want everybody to have the right to a good education. And that's what we were doing. We were standing together against authoritarianism, totalitarian government, because we believe in democracy, and we know that working
Okay, like, one in the chat if you think that someone with a foreign accent should be allowed to protest the United States government. 2 in the chat if you think that someone with a foreign accent who barely speaks English should not be allowed to protest the United States government, and that if they try to do it, we should arrest them and throw their asses in jail and then deport them to whatever country they came from in the fucking first place. 1 in the chat if you think that people with foreign accents that barely speak English should be allowed to protest the federal government because free speech and democracy and blah, 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 blah. 2 in the chat if you think that we should be arresting anyone with a heavy foreign accent that barely speaks fucking English and deporting their asses back to their country of origin if they ever try to engage in action that is designed to overthrow the fucking government. I don't think I'm being unreasonable here. I just don't.
Together as a community, as an organization, we can protect it ourselves. We are the ones who can protect ourselves. We don't have to wait for anybody else. We organize and we can do it. We prove it here in Chatham County, and I guess we can do it at the national level. Thank you.
Yo, Max, Alirio, we love y'all. Shout out to Chatham County. Shout out to NCAE, one of the baddest to ever do it. Long live Red for Ed. We're so grateful that y'all were here. We're so grateful for all of the interventions you made on May Day. Y'all, next, my brother Alex Hine, a brilliant brain and hard, heavy worker for May Day Strong, to talk to us a little bit about what just happened and what comes next. Alex, I'll toss it to you.
Thank you, Ash. We've heard a lot of inspiring stories from around the country. And we saw thousands of actions, over 5,000 actions that were on the MaydayStrong.org website, on our map. We tracked probably several thousand more, from high school student walkouts to strikes like you heard from Juliette Etienne in New Orleans. We saw renters and tenants in Bozeman, Montana vote to go on a rent strike on May Day. We've seen really amazing action around the country. It is impossible to list them all on a call like this. I'm thinking a bit about what Maggie from Minnesota kind of shared about the fear that she was feeling, but also the connection to other people who were taking action and taking risks together in order to fight for something that we all believe in, which is a real better future, real democracy, and to fight against the authoritarian threat in this country. Now, we are not outlining here in this call exactly, we are not mapping out everything that comes next. There is a lot of work to do. One thing that we are working to do, and it's why we continue to put the link in the chat to connect with May Day Strong partners, is that a lot of the work that happens next is going to be happening in our cities, in our towns, creating relationships between people that are going to help sustain us. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't large-scale actions to do. I know I answered a few questions from people in the Q&A, when is the next No Kings? When is the next large rally? All of those things are going to be shared over the coming weeks and months. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get involved involved. I really want to encourage people to go to that link to connect with May Day Strong partners, to organize not just those large scale actions that we're going to be moving nationally, but to figure out what our plans are for our cities, for our towns, how we're going to think about this coming November and the aftermath there. So, we call these a structure test. That is the truth. That is a phrase that organizers use. We pick a day and we say, what can we do? On Friday, we saw a lot of amazing possibility. We know that we don't get to pick the day and time. I know that our friends in Tennessee, in Alabama, in Louisiana, who are fighting back against this racist attempt to take back the Voting Rights Act, to take away the rights of Black people to vote. They didn't choose and plan for the time and place of that.
To take away the rights of Black people to vote. If only. If only.
Right, but they're taking it on where they are. So I'd encourage people again.
We do, actually. We do. Trump declared English as the national language. America does have an official language, and it is English.
Find your local May Day Strong partner, get connected, and we can figure out a way to move forward. We're going to be plotting out really specific next steps that are going to be happening in our communities going forward. So with that, Ash, I want to hand it back to you to close us out. Looks like we're right on time.
Alex, we're so grateful, and to everybody that wants more information about all of the many, many, many ways you all made history on May Day, I want you to check out the link that tech support just dropped in the chat to read a little bit about the impact. And y'all, we're finding out about stuff that people did that we didn't put up, that they didn't put on that map by the second. So we're excited to continue to share that as we become even more aware of the ways that folks made history across the country on May Day. You heard it here first, folks. We are building on the successful, widespread, and economically disruptive actions from May Day to build the power of labor and community together to defend and expand our civil rights, our labor rights, immigrant rights, all of our rights in a period of growing and consolidating authoritarianism, war, and attacks on all of our civil liberties. Y'all, we're learning from No Kings 3. And we're leaning into the 250th anniversary celebrations in this country that are attempts to rekindle our commitments to a democracy not undermined by gerrymandering, unaccountable and undemocratic executives, and unelected Supreme Court justices, billionaires that buy their access.
All right. Well, let's be very clear here. The pretentious retards are winning and you are losing. The pretentious retards are winning and you are losing. So if the pretentious retards are winning massively, then what does it say about you and your team that you are losing to the pretentious retards?
Access and control over the government while receiving record tax breaks at our expense. We will have to run more solidarity schools to prepare our coalitions locally and nationally to combat the incoming attacks by this regime, to fight an illegal war, to defend democracy, and to tax the right to get our people the things that they need. We have to determine our canvases in ways that don't just get the vote out for November, but help us go after bad billionaire bosses and this landlord in the White House. Y'all, we have to mobilize in a way that not only make sure our votes get counted, but make sure that we have such an overwhelming amount of support at the polls that this election cannot be stolen. And when they try, that we will be so perfectly positioned to make their repression back.
Guys, the left is actively anticipating that Trump is going to steal the election or cancel the election. They've been anticipating this for a while. And so I think that regardless of what happens, regardless of what's true, we're going to see a lot of left. Even if quite frankly, the GOP gets their ass kicked, I think we are going to see leftist activism around the election because they are convinced that Trump is going to try to steal it.
Fire. Y'all, now is the time that we should not be backing away. This is all gas, no brakes kind of time. I want you to feel invited to be a part of the critical infrastructure of May Day Strong. I want you to feel invited to make their evil uncomfortable. I want you to feel invited and committed to taking this knowledge, all this incredible sharing that the leaders that were on this call did with you tonight, all the links and calls to action that they gave. I want you to feel knighted to evangelize the gospel of working people. So go out, do something, take this new knowledge and change the material conditions of our people with it. I want you to invite some more folks to join us, and I want to see you in the streets with us as we continue to build worker and community power together. Y'all, it has been an incredible call. Thank you for not regarding it robbery to be here with us. I love you. I respect.
All right. That's the end of the call. We made it. We made it. We made it. So listen, we haven't had a great day with channel memberships. I'm going to be honest. We are way off our goal for the day, but I do appreciate everyone who sent in super chats. I appreciate everyone who sent in a channel membership. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do. Maybe a little bit less of it today, but that's all right. Jenny from Texas on Rumble. Thank you for the $10 Rumble rant. Tuition catching up, idiocracy, RV park on the White House lawn. Guard your joy. Yeah, Jenny. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we were way off today, but that's, it's okay. Okay. So here is what I'm thinking. So I think I'm done this stream because you guys obviously don't want to do this because no one's donating channel memberships. So I have to assume we want no more of this. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go do some stuff around my house. I might, and I'm emphasizing might, be back later to watch some of the content around Candace Owens and the Daily Wire and stuff like that. Maybe. But I'm not going to promise anything, but I want to go do some stuff. I want to go get some things organized and situated because Victor has the day off tomorrow and I have things I want him to do. And I need to do things before I create a list for Victor of things that he needs to do. And so I'm going to go do a project or 2 or 3 and maybe I'll be back later and maybe I won't. Regardless, I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Actually, are we doing a, hang on. Are we doing a Red May? Oh, wow. There's a Haymarket Books live stream right now. Are we doing a Red May live stream tomorrow? I feel like we're doing a Red May live stream tomorrow. I feel like there's a Red May live stream tomorrow. Hang on. Yep, we're doing a Red May live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow, Red May is live at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Actually, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. our time. We're going to do a Red May stream snipe tomorrow. And Philip is really going to like that. So I'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow when we will be doing the Red May stream snipe. And that'll be awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. I will catch you guys later. Take care. And we'll see you.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.